got to remember how to get this ready.
Okay, you better figure it out because we are now live in front of thousands and thousands of people. Hello, everyone. Very, very excited to come to you today with my partner back, thankfully. It was a struggle. I'm not going to lie. It was a struggle to get through the last 2 weeks without you here, but you are here now, and I'm very excited about that. Still not 100%, but ready to take one for the team and not miss 3 weeks in a row. Thank you, Candy. So, would you like to address that at all, or?
I mean, I guess it's not that big of a deal. I had a little surgery, so I've been out for a few weeks on my butt. Got a few more weeks to go, but I'm doing really good. I just didn't want to say anything because I don't like worrying people and I hate attention. But I thought I would address that. That's why I've been out. And shout out to my son for taking such wonderful care of my betas since I haven't been able to be in the fish room at all. And to John for taking care of me. He is, I couldn't have taken a shower without this man. It's making my food and bringing it to me, taking me to the doctor every other day. But, this past week has been a breeze. I'm past all that, so ready to, be back at it and all that. So here I am.
Yeah, you are pretty daggone lucky to have me, I got to tell you.
I don't know what I would have done without you.
For 2 weeks now, she has been saying over and over again, thank you, thank you, thank you, and all this. And I'm like, hey, you would have done the same for me. So that's what partners do, right?
Yes.
So, yeah, it's been surprisingly smooth. I'm not going to say easy, but smooth, having you down for the last couple of weeks. I thought it was going to be, like just the end of the world, but we've certainly missed you, bossing us around and telling us what we can and can't eat.
The worst thing is just being bored. I'm not the kind of person to sit on my butt. I like to get up and move around and do stuff. I hate, being on my butt. I hate it. I would sit there and twiddle my thumbs like, I don't want to read a book. I don't want to watch a movie. What am I going to do? This is so boring. Okay, come on tomorrow. Next day is going to be better.
It kind of is. It's one of those things that opens your eyes to what you've been taking for granted for so long. Another perfect example was when in the beginning of the lockdown when nobody was allowed to even leave their house. And it was like, okay, cool. I get to relax. I get to hang out. I get to, chill and not worry about things. But after like 8 or 9 days of that, it's like, okay, I need to get out of this house.
Yeah.
Same kind of a thing. So I totally sympathize and I understand. And I've tried to make it as easy as possible, including, ladies and gentlemen, sacrificing my television, of which she has watched in the last 2 weeks about a half an hour of television.
No, I've watched 2 movies. It just took me for one movie, it took me 3 days because I am not someone that likes to watch TV. I like to be active and do stuff. I like to take care of fish. So, there's that.
Well, it's been an interesting 2 weeks, but glad to have you back on your feet and glad to have you back in here. It is absolutely not the same without you. It's easier for me because I don't have to worry about letting anybody else talk. I can just go and go and go.
Oh, yeah, I've watched. I've lurked. Last week I wasn't on the stream, but I was able to at least be in the chat. And that was fun. I like to interact with people and talk to everybody in chat. It's easier to talk to people in chat when you're in chat than it is to do a live stream and try to look and answer people's questions and stuff. So I had a lot of fun in chat last week. But the week before I lurked and I was like, wow. You did good. You did good both times.
Well, it was fun. And here's the interesting thing about tonight. We have nothing in particular to talk about. I don't have a plan. There's nothing, teed up for us to talk about. No topic, no anything. So it's going to be all about whatever we can find in the chat as far as questions go. And also, obviously, if the super chats come in, we're going to handle that. But then also, whatever comes of it, comes of it. Right. Whatever happens. We can have fun that way.
Speaking of movies, my poll that I had up yesterday was about favorite fish movie. And it's so funny because trying to think of the ones I had, Jaws, Piranha, Finding Nemo or Dory, Shark Tale, and then Other. And it's so funny how Other was meant, of course, for you can put in any other movie that you want.
Aquaman, perhaps?
Oh, yes, Aquaman.
I don't know shame on you for forgetting that one.
Yeah, but I was trying to do some of the most popular, maybe in our youth, like in the 70s-ish, and then some that were like for the youth of people and maybe the early 2000s, so that's why I chose some cartoons, some scary fish movies, but it's so funny how many people are like, what about Sharknado? What about Aquaman? What about this? What about Deep Blue Sea? And I'm like, but I can't put all of them up. They only give me 5 choices.
Yeah, you can't have an infinite number of options.
And then Mr. Limpet, it's so funny because that really is a good movie, and I should have put that one up because that's more of going before Jaws. That's like going...
See, I'm not even familiar with that one. I'm a movie buff, and I don't even know what movie you're talking about.
Barney Fife is in it.
Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah.
And I always say Barney Fife because that's who he is to me. But anyway, yeah, that was a lot of fun. We got a lot of responses for that, and I like almost all the movies everyone was saying that they liked too, so it was a lot of fun.
The funny thing about Sharknado movies are a lot of fun to watch. They really are. They're terrible. They're stupid. They're ridiculous, but they're so much fun to watch. It's kind of like that Kong versus Godzilla movie. What a dumb movie, but it was so much fun to watch because you get to see these big giant monsters fighting. And Sharknado, it's like people are getting attacked by sharks in their living rooms. I mean, it's ridiculous, but that you know what to expect. You turn that movie on, it's going to be Steve from 90210 running around being chased down the street by sharks. It's ridiculous, but you know that going in. Just
right.
like I said, Godzilla versus Kong, or whichever way you say it, I knew I was not going to see Oscar-winning performances from Skarsgård and Eleven and all of those people. Right. I just knew it was going to be an entertaining and fun movie. Kind of like what I'm expecting for Mortal Kombat tomorrow. But I might be surprised with that one. But
what?
Yeah, Mortal Kombat movie is coming out tomorrow on HBO.
Okay.
It's for somebody like me who spent probably $3,000 in quarters playing Mortal Kombat in the arcades. This is going to be a special movie coming out tomorrow.
I thought that already came out. Is it a remake?
There's been a couple already, but this one is a new one with all the new technology.
Wasn't Angelina Jolie in one of them?
She was in the Tomb Raider movies. That's another video game franchise that they made a movie about. So, but anyway, let's get into some of these things. I've already found a question. Maybe you can find one while I'm answering this one, because it is asked directly to me. Does not even want to know what you think. Kidding. It's from the Goldfish King. You should never label yourself the king of anything. Hey, John, what's your least favorite fish in the aquarium hobby? That one's just kind of stood out to me because there's a couple of different ways that it could be answered. It could be, what is a fish I wish was not in the hobby? That would be Arapimus. Duh. Next to that would be red-tailed catfish, and there's several more. But as far as like, I don't even know if I have a least favorite. Like every time I see that fish, I go, ugh, I don't like that one. I don't know if there is one. Because I don't know that I've had, I mean, maybe piranha, because they're just not, to me, all that attractive, and they're kind of lazy. I did have one of those, and they were really boring and kind of dull, and I just wasn't entertained by them. Maybe that. But I don't get mad when I see piranha. So I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't have answered this question, because it's like that's hard to answer. But I do know, if I was to give you my honest opinion, and not just like a fish I don't like, but my least favorite fish that I see in the hobby, it would be arapaimas. And I've seen arapaimas in several different fish stores for sale, and I just think that's tragic. So that would be my answer.
Okie dokie. I have one. Nicholas Brown asks, when I do a water change and I add water conditioner and it says to add 5 mLs per 10 gallons, should I only be adding conditioner based off of how much water I change, or based off the whole tank itself? That's a good question, because John and I do things differently. He'll add it for the whole fish tank.
Yep.
I add it for the amount that I took out and I'm putting back in. So I don't think either way is bad.
I mean, I do think there is such thing. I don't know this for a fact, but I think it is possible to overdose. Maybe there's not. I don't know. I don't know if you can overdose water conditioner. But the amounts that we're talking about here, I don't think that would be an issue. Yes, I treat for the whole tank just because it's easier, and I'm not going to try to, okay, I did a 50% water change in this tank, which means that, no, just forget it. If it's a 75-gallon tank, I don't put 75 gallons of water conditioner in there. That might be a problem, but I put the dose that is required for a 75-gallon tank.
Yeah.
That makes things very simple.
I don't think there's a wrong way to do it. As long as you're definitely putting in the amount for what you're putting back in the tank, at the very least. So,
planning to do a guppy tank in a 29-gallon with a betta as a centerpiece fish. Would you put more than one female betta in, and it has your head, bobblehead emoji on there?
I didn't hear that. Can you do it one more time?
29-gallon guppy tank with a betta as a centerpiece. Would you add more than one female? Basically,
you know what? Honestly, if it's going to be primarily a guppy tank, I would only have one female beta, because I really don't like to do sororities with guppies. They seem to take them out. I mean, that's been my experience. Maybe not for everybody, but I think I would just have one beta with guppies.
Yeah, the thing is, beta sororities are not as easy as the concept may seem. They can be challenging. You need to have backup plans. You need to know what you're going to do if things go wrong. You need to, I do believe, and you believe, that there is I believe this because you taught me this, that there is a right way and a wrong way to do sororities. Both ways will work sometimes, but one way is almost like a surefire way of doing it, which would be to have siblings and have them in the tank together as a sorority. That's very, very hard to do, because it's very, very hard to find siblings that are for sale. We get asked almost every single day if we have siblings for sale. Since we're not breeding them ourselves, the answer to that question is, I don't know.
I mean, kind of breeding them ourselves, but they're not for sale.
Well, yeah, we're not talking about that yet, but we're not talking about that till you want to talk about that. But it's one of those tanks that could go wrong at any time. And you know what? A gorgeous male betta is a beautiful centerpiece. Just do that. A female too. I mean, there's plenty of females that are gorgeous too.
I have a sorority tank that I've had for 3 years in a living room, and I got all of those females as baby girl betas in little cups at Petco. They were teeny tiny, and raised them up together, and they're still just like perfect. I've never seen them fight. They get along perfect, and I did in the very beginning find out that a couple were males and took them out and they're in their own tanks, but you got to be careful with that because sometimes you just don't know if those baby girl betas are going to be girls or boys. I don't think they even know. I mean, you can usually tell at that size, but I don't think all Petco employees know, is what I'm saying.
Should we put them in real tanks or keep them in small cubes? They are permanent members of our fish family, 27 tanks and counting. I'm not sure what that is asking. Like, I don't think any fish should be in small cubes permanently, if that's what you're asking. I don't know. I don't know what that one seems almost like it was the second part to a question. But
if you're referring to like betas for a permanent home, no. If it's temporary because you're selling them, then that's a different story. But if it's, I wouldn't for a permanent home at all.
We've talked to so many people that are like professional beta people. So professional that they say beta.
Yeah.
And they're fine. Keep them in something small. It's fine. I will never, ever preach that, ever go along with that. And I'm not some kind of white knight. I'm not some kind of, bleeding heart. No, I just feel like right is right. And having fish in a teeny tiny thing is just not cool. People get on us for it all the time. It's almost a daily thing, not realizing that you don't have 400 betas as pets. I'm looking into the camera, but I'm actually looking through the camera at Lisa saying, because there are people that when she shows her beta room, people are like, how dare you?
Getting mad at me, like, you should keep them in bigger tanks. And I'm like,
do you think these are our pets?
I mean, if they were mine forever, I wouldn't have that many, for one, because that's just way too much responsibility to take care of that many in a 5 or 10 gallon tank forever. But I mean, it's hard enough taking care of them, in their cubes now. That's why I'm so proud of my son for he's been doing this the past few weeks down there, and he's been doing a great job. We have a system going. It's working out well. And you have to, when you have that many betas, you have to have a system. You have to have a plan, and you've got to stick to it, because all it takes is getting off track one day and you're behind, and it's not fair to the betas.
Having that many as pets, I feel like...
How do you even enjoy them?
Well, first of all, if you're going to do that and have them as pets, you would have to have them on some type of a system. You can't be going through there and individually water changing. I mean, that's our plan for our beta setup, is to have a system in place, auto water changes, stuff like that. Right now, that's not what we have. It's all done manually. It's all done individually. But if you're going to have that many as pets, you're not going through there and doing water changes 2-3 times a week because you have no filtration in there or anything like that. That would just be, you're a crazy person if you have 400 beta betas as pets. You're nuts. And somebody in your family should probably intervene.
Oh, gosh.
Because
stop offending people.
I mean, 400 of them, that's just out of control. Do you always need to add conditioner to the water when you're topping off the tank if it's just a small amount? You know what? This is where I'm going to go a little controversial.
Uh-oh.
I'm gonna do it. And I'm going to say I've done it without putting water conditioner in, and it has not been a problem.
Yeah, that's not controversial.
I mean...
I think everyone does.
Have you seen the internet lately? Everything's controversial. But, yeah, I mean, listen, you should, if you have city water that's chlorinated, you should condition it.
If you're topping it off that much, like if it's that bad, then shame on you.
Well,
but if it's just a little bit,
she says that while her discus tank is like 2 inches low right now.
Okay,
anyway.
I have an excuse.
But no, if your tank just gets a little low from evaporation and you top it off, I don't. Your fish are not going to all die if you don't dechlorinate that water, but you still should. If you forget and you're like, oh no, I wouldn't panic, but there you go. I don't know what more to say, but you should just always get into the habit of doing that. It's most of the water conditioners like Prime and Complete, the ones that stink, those are the ones that there's more to them than just dechlorinator. Yeah. They're removing a lot of harsh things from the water, even if you have well water. So just get in the habit of always doing that, and then you don't ever have any concerns.
Ellen Amaya says, I just helped my first graders teacher set up a tank for their class beta fish. He was in a tiny 1.5 gallon bowl. I was so happy to give tank, cycled sponge filter, heater, and knowledge. And that's awesome. Way to go.
That is amazing.
That's awesome. I love hearing stories like that.
I was perusing Amazon the other day. And it's something we all do, don't we? I hate Amazon for the fish keeping community, but I'll still look through there, see what's going on. I look all over the place all the time to find something that I haven't seen before. And maybe it's something that I'd be interested in offering on our website, something unique, something neat, and can make fish keepers' lives easier. That's kind of what we're after. And the other day, I was actually really happy to see this. There was some Chinese company. I don't have anything against Chinese people, but it was quite obviously a Chinese company that was selling on Amazon a wall mounting fish bowl.
Oh, I've seen those.
And since it's a wall mounting fish bowl, of course it's half of a fish bowl.
Oh yeah, I've seen that.
And when I saw that, and I saw that there were 4 goldfish in the bowl hanging on the wall, and it's maybe like a gallon of water. And we're not talking about little comet goldfish, as we all know, they get really big.
Really
but
big.
They weren't 4 feeder fish. They were like 4 fancy goldfish and a beta. Of course, these were all photoshopped into there. They weren't really in that tank.
Well, it gives the impression that it's okay to do that.
Right, and that's the thing. That's why I said, you must think I'm crazy, because I said I was relieved to see this. Amazon has in their, their reviews for their products are publicly viewable, just like reviews are viewable on our website. And I went down there, and people were just trashing this ad.
Right.
That's not, how dare you, saying all the things that we hate when people say to us, but it was all the appropriate things. There were people saying, I ordered this just to see what it is all about. It comes with 2 tiny little screws to mount it to the wall. There's no way those are going to hang them or securely fasten this thing to the wall. There's nothing in the way of water movement. It's just a bowl, and people tearing this person up. I was actually very relieved to see that. So, I can't stand when people get on us for the keeping the bettas in the small tanks for sale.
Right.
But anyway.
Well, funny story about Amazon. I found out that I don't do well on pain medication and browsing Amazon, because I end up buying stuff and forgetting. I didn't even know I did that until packages started showing up at the door. John's like, what is this? And I'm like, I have no idea. I don't know. And
nothing weird. She didn't buy anything weird.
I mean, I have new stuff now. I can use it, but I just had no idea that that's a great way to forget about buying something. It's like it never happened, but you still own it.
Yeah, you did good though. I mean, you only ordered a couple of things. It's not like you spent hundreds or thousands of dollars or anything like that.
Good thing I wasn't looking at houses.
Well, yeah. My response to that would have probably been much different if you had spent thousands of dollars in a altered state because of medication.
Yeah. Wow.
Fish Tank Barn says, welcome back, Lisa. Thank you, Mike. You
thank
should
you,
thank
Mike.
him. Yeah, of course I'm very thankful to have her back too. Makes my life so much easier, kinda. But anyway, Tom Miller, Lisa, any update you can share on beta restock?
I do have some betas in quarantine right now that I will be putting up on the website probably next week. And I did see somebody ask a question about the alien betas. I've got a lot of those that came in. Everything is in quarantine right now because I like to keep an eye on it before I put it on the website. I want to make sure they come in, they eat, everybody's healthy before, I put them up. So I do have some stuff in the future, very near future.
We have fish that we've had down there for a month that aren't on the website yet. And it's not because of laziness or anything like that. It's because, we're watching them. She's watching them and making sure everything's good. And her whole plan when you were on bed rest was going to be, I'm going to put all of these on the website, and you've done quite a few, but not nearly as many as you wanted.
I put about 75 up because I did a whole bunch of videos the week prior to surgery, and I just backlogged it all and then sat there and put them up here and there, put a bunch of females up and a few others. So there's those, and then I got more in this past week, so yeah.
One of the things that I did see, I got an email right before the stream started, and this is one of those things that people are probably not watching that would ask this question, but maybe they will watch it on replay or whatever. But aside from the how many question, the other question that this one doesn't bother me as much because I understand why people are asking this, but it bothers me to have to give the same answer over and over and over again. One of the most common questions we get on our website, through our website, is if I order a fish now, can you hold it for me until my tank is done cycling? And the answer to that is no. We will hold fish for up to 7 days. Sometimes, depending on when you order, we're going to hold them for a little longer than that because we ship fish primarily Mondays, Tuesdays, and Wednesdays. Sometimes, if things are a little out of control, we'll ship on Thursdays, specifically if people ask for it because they want to have it delivered on Fridays. We're going to probably start easing up on that moving forward now because the weather's breaking and everything's getting better.
Except this week it's freezing.
Yeah.
It's like 30 degrees outside.
Yeah, it's cold right now, but as the weather gets better and stuff like that, overnight shipping we will do Thursdays for Fridays deliveries. But when we open up priority mail for fish again, which will be soon, I would think within the next few weeks, we'll be opening up priority mail for live fish as well as everything else. We will not ship them on Thursdays because
right.
they're not going to get there.
Yeah.
So only Mondays, Tuesdays, and Wednesdays. So the point I was trying to make, I'm sorry, I know you were going to jump in there, but the point I was trying to make is if you order on a Wednesday, we're not going to ship the fish the day you order it. Right. So it would be the following Monday. And so if you ask us, hey, can you hold it for 7 days? We would really be holding it for more like 10 or 11 days. That's basically the best that we can do. But we can't have a open invitation like, yeah, let us know when your tank's ready and then we'll set. No, we can't do that.
Right.
I know the reason why people ask that. It's our fault. It's our own fault because we put the actual fish on the website. When you see a fish on our website and you order the fish, that's the fish you're getting. And so people see one and they fall in love with it and they're like, I have to have that one. I can't wait anymore. And that's why this ends up happening. If we just put up a photo of a black samurai and just say, hey, you're going to get a black samurai. Right. It's not that one, but you're going to get one, which would be so much easier if we did that. Oh my gosh.
And the ones we got, I just put some up and I still have a few more that I haven't put up of that batch. And this last round, they were gorgeous. I even kept one for myself because I've got several female samurais, and I'm like, he's gonna be he's a stud.
Yeah, that's how we're going to end up. We are going to end up with 400 bettas as pets. But anyway, I fully support that idea. But not the idea of 400 bettas as pets, but you keeping that fish to breed. But anyway, we cannot hold fish until someone's tank is cycled. But again, depending on when you're ordering, we can hold it till the following Monday from when you order, if that makes sense. So
yeah, and once shipping gets better too, and we can offer the better rates, I do have some fish that are not as costly, that are a lot more reasonable, and these are for people that may not be able to afford to buy a $40 or $50 or $60 fish, but they want a fish from us, and I wanted to make sure we were able to offer that for everybody. So they're not the show quality fish, they're not the the real fancy betas. They're going to be more like the veil tails and the ones that are a little bit more
still beautiful.
Definitely beautiful and very well taken care of, just like all the others. But I just wanted to make sure I could offer people that, because there's young people that watch us that, maybe they're saving up their birthday money or their Christmas money, and all they can afford is, $25 for a beta and shipping all together, and they really want this beta from us. And I just want to make sure that everyone has the same opportunity. So
yeah, I think we're going to have a real problem when we open up priority, because I think there's probably a lot of people waiting for that, and I don't blame them. I mean, we've
cut back a lot on fish too, so that when the day comes, we can bring a lot more back into stock, so that we can get them out the door quicker. I hate having to offer only one shipping rate, and that's because we have to make sure that they get there.
Yeah, I'm going to be completely honest with everyone watching here right now. 522 watching right now. Since mid-December or early December, I think it was early December, that we made the switch to only next day air through. No, wait a minute. It was actually right after Thanksgiving, I think, because the election and all that messed everything up.
I think it was
and then
right after Christmas.
Priority Express, I don't know when it was, but it was in December or something like that. Before that, we were offering, it was December. We were offering Priority Express through the Postal Service. Postal Service lost their mind. Everything went crazy after the election and all that. And so they were just falling apart. Shipments weren't getting sent. They were getting delayed. So we dropped them, and we went to exclusively UPS overnight or next day air saver. We've had one fish not survive shipment, one, in those 5 months. And it was actually delayed by UPS. Something happened. Who knows? Things happen. And we're talking about hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of fish over the last 5 months. So I'm pretty proud of that, if I'm being honest with you. And that's something that we're going to have to do again next year. Because I am not going to go through, we won't have the election and all that kind of stuff, which just, I'm not talking political here. I'm just saying everybody knows the world went kind of crazy between November and January. And the Postal Service
was the holidays, and people were.
There's that too,
That I think is more of what the problem was. Everyone was doing online shopping because they were too scared to go out and shop in stores, and I don't blame them. I was one of those people. So.
Or you're not even allowed to go out to stores to do that. But
so the Postal Service, they lost their mind because they were just overwhelmed. So.
And I mean, I'm not mad at them. And at one point, they actually said no live animals are allowed to be shipped. But that was only for about a week. But anyway, that's when we made the switch. And but we will be offering priority mail for fish again very soon. Within a few weeks, we'll be offering that up again. And the Postal Service was fine when we were shipping them that way before. But once that weather gets cold, then it just starts to get too risky, and definitely too risky for UPS because they don't keep them warm like the Postal Service does. Believe it or not, if they're going to be delayed, the Postal Service actually does a better job. But then again, another funny story. It's a business story here for you. I shipped someone a betta plushie, just like that one behind Marie there.
What?
One of but it was a red betta, and he bought it for his niece for Christmas. And so I shipped it to him. It was like 3 weeks before Christmas that he ordered it, shipped it, and it never got there. The Postal Service just basically said, it's late. We don't know where it is. It's late. I didn't even tell you this.
No.
So he emailed me and he's like, hey, I don't know what's going on here. And I said, okay, no big deal. I sent him another one. It got there, no problem. Everything's good. I just got that back 2 days ago.
Are you serious?
It was the box. I had the note in our
Whoa.
P.O. box.
Thank
He
God
shipped it back.
wasn't a fish.
He didn't ship it back. The Postal Service sent it back. And 5 months later,
Wow.
I was like, what is this? I don't know. So, yeah, that was kind of interesting. So, anyway, the Postal Service, they have their hands full. And you know what? They've been doing much, much better the last couple of months. I'm just still, with the weather, I'm still a little bit leery of opening up priority for fish yet. But we will be soon. And speaking of cold, yesterday I got to do one of my absolute favorite things on earth. My favorite leisure thing to do in the world.
Oh, yeah.
Is go to watch the Nationals play. And a couple of things happened yesterday.
I got a break.
Says the woman who was just thanking me for taking such good care of her. Shame on you.
I felt so good yesterday. It was okay. It was a good day for you to go.
A lot of good things happened and a lot of bad things happened. But, obviously wasn't able to go at all last year. Nobody was. Missed it terribly. And they've just opened it up to 10,000 fans.
I thought it was only 5.
It started at 5 and then they raised it up to 10,000. But the stadium holds like 45,000 people. So 10,000, it's really like there's hardly anybody there. Now, the game that I went to yesterday was at 4 o'clock on a Wednesday.
Right.
So there was maybe 4,000, 4,500 people there. The best experience I've ever had going to a professional sporting event in my life. And I've been to hundreds. Shut up. I've been to hundreds. Took 2 of the kids with me. The only problem was that it was so cold. I went there.
The weather dropped 15 degrees in like 2 hours.
Our seats, I like to be between first base and third base, behind home plate somewhere. So we were up a little higher, and it was so cold. And I went there, my dumb self, in a T-shirt and shorts. Mm-hmm. So I went and bought a jersey, which I needed to because the jersey that I had was for a player that's no longer with the team. And which one did I buy? I bought Daniel Hudson, of course. Duh. He's a pitcher for the Nationals. They had his jersey for sale. Listen to me now. Don't freak out. $440 because it was a special edition gold. It's like a white jersey with gold lettering and all of this. They wore it for like one game last season, and it's this special edition thing. But it's the only Daniel Hudson jersey that they had. And I'm like, well, not spending that much. I love Daniel Hudson. He's got the same name as me, but I'm not buying that. But it was marked down to $220, which I was like, okay, now we're getting somewhere. But it rang up $75.
Yeah, because I don't think you would have been telling that story in front of me
no.
if it didn't ring up $75.
I got a $440 jersey for $75. I was so happy about that. Got to see Max Scherzer pitch for the first time in person, and Daniel Hudson pitch, which was beautiful. And they won. It was glorious. It was wonderful. Again, best experience. We're going again in like 3 weeks. I can't wait. It's a bobblehead game. Anyway,
For Daniel Hudson.
Daniel Hudson bobblehead. That's right. Daniel Hudson is the pitcher that pitched the last pitch to win the World Series in 2019. So special guy to me because obviously he has the same last name as me and he brought us a World Series. So Metalhead Prime says, welcome back, Lisa. The bettas we got from you are awesome and doing great. Thanks again. You guys rock.
Thank you. I'm glad they're doing well. I love it when, you know, if I go in the Tank Talk group, people will post that, you know, they got their betas and they put pictures up of them in their tank and they're all happy. I love that. I love that so much. So if you are part of a Facebook group, which we could talk about that if you want to, John.
Didn't we do enough of that the other day?
If you are a part of Tank Talk and you want to post a beta that you got from us, then please do. I love seeing updates. Or if you're in there and you just want to post a beta that you got from anywhere, I love that. It's awesome.
That video that I put up on Sunday was one that I was reluctant to put up. I had another one in mind that I was going to do. And I didn't have a couple of B-roll shots that I wanted for it. And with you being a mess, I just wasn't able to get them. No offense, I love you, but
I wouldn't have known.
But I wasn't able to get the B-roll footage, so I said, you know what? Let me see about this Facebook video, and put that up, and it's done very well for us. I mean, I was surprised. Doesn't it always work out that way? Anybody watching this that's a YouTuber, usually the videos that you do not think are going to do well just kill it for you, and then the ones that you're so proud of and they're the best video you've ever made, nobody watches it. It's interesting. But I got to tell you, 544 people watching. I'm upset with every single one of you. Every one of you. Even you, Candy Overhauls. Why? Because not one person fell for the idea of me standing there shaking hands with Mark Zuckerberg. I thought I did a really good job on that thumbnail, and I thought
you were very proud of that thumbnail.
I thought I'd made it look close to me actually being there shaking his hand, but I didn't. Of course I didn't. In fact, here's the original picture. I've got it right here. Shocker. Here is the original picture.
I do recall Elizabeth Welch commenting about that.
I mean, somebody might have commented like good thumbnail, but I didn't see anybody like, oh my God, you met Mark Zuckerberg? That's what I was hoping for.
Gotcha.
But if you look at that and then you look at my thumbnail, you can see they're drastically different. I don't know who that guy is that he's shaking hands with, but I don't know what language that is. So I don't know. I don't know who that is, but I tried to kind of disguise the background and I put myself in there, and I thought I did a really good job making it look like me standing there with Mark Zuckerberg, but nobody fell for it. And I'm upset about it because
you guys really met and were shaking hands. He's your other friend.
Listen, I don't like Facebook at all.
Danny Weshy says, why would he shake your hand?
It's very true. The answer to that question is he wouldn't, but...
And Zen Ginger said, so he's mad at us for not being gullible?
Yes, that's right. I wanted somebody to go, oh, wow, John met Mark Zuckerberg. How cool. John's big time. Yeah. Listen, I don't like Facebook. I don't like a lot of things about Facebook. But if I had the opportunity to shake Mark Zuckerberg's hand, I would. Why? Because the guy is a genius when it comes to building a business and all of that kind of stuff. And I think he is literally a genius. I would shake his hand just like I would Jeff Bezos. And no, I'm not that guy. I'm not going to sit here and act like I'm the guy that would shake Jeff Bezos' hand and say, hey, thanks for killing the aquarium hobby, you jerk. Anybody that would tell you they would say that, Bob Steenfod, I'm talking to you, they're not going to say that kind of thing. They act like a tough guy, but they're not. Plus the security around both of those guys would probably have none of that. But no, I would, out of respect, shake his hand, even though I could be his father. I'm old enough to be Mark Zuckerberg's dad. But anyway, I'm really upset that nobody fell for that. A couple of people did say cool thumbnail, but nobody thought it was actually real.
Because people aren't stupid. I mean,
I mean,
come on.
listen, is it far-fetched to think that perhaps Mark Zuckerberg did a talk somewhere around here and I went and I was able to go up there for a photo op? It's not outrageous. There's hundreds of thousands of people that have pictures of themselves with Mark Zuckerberg. It's not crazy to think that I could have been one of those people, but nobody bought it. Anyway, Benjamin Keat. Is it Keat? I need to move this over here so I can see it better. Became a new member. Looks like K-E-A-T. Yes. Welcome to the team, my friend.
Welcome.
Christine Richardson. Hi, Lisa. Any white crown tail beta betas available soon?
I do not have any. Well, I'll be honest with you. I have a platinum crown tail male and a platinum crown tail female that I plan on breeding.
Mm-hmm. Again, we're going to have 400 beta pets soon.
I do not have any for sale right now, so
I'm
sure I can get some soon, though.
Here's another beta question. Stephen P. 2003. I stared at the alien betas too long, and they sold out.
Oh, but there'll be some more right back up there on the site here soon. And
Yeah, you got like 25 of them, didn't you, the other day?
Or more. So yeah, I've got quite a few.
Also, do the shorter fin betas need super slow water flow like the half moons and such?
I would still keep the flow at a minimum, just because they don't want to fight that current.
Yeah, the current definitely affects the longer fin fish more than it does the shorter fin, but
still
no betas really like the high current. If you look at the tank behind Marie, those fish, you can watch them. They're swimming around in the current. They love it. It's almost like they play in it. But bettas, not so much. They like it nice and calm.
Interesting story. There are 5 females holding in that tank. I counted them all.
Yeah, so we're going to have 400 yellow labs here soon, too.
Yes, and I would have got in there and got them out, but I can't do that right now. But I guess it's a good thing.
I don't think anybody can. I mean, and it reminds me of the days when we were breeding. It makes me feel so bad because so many, like when I go to feed them, the females that are holding will come up like they want to eat,
and they can't.
The food goes right near their mouth, and I'm like, oh, I feel bad for you.
But that's why when we used to strip them and put the eggs in the incubate them or whatever, they could go right back to eating. So that was good.
Yeah, and if that tank was different, it's a 30-inch deep tank. And there's a lot of rocks in there. It would just be so difficult.
I think some of them are going to survive.
Oh, they definitely will. I just wish, I would love to be able to catch the females so that I could get footage, just let a camera run on them nonstop and just get footage of them spitting the babies out. That would be so cool. It's something we've seen a million times, never caught it on video, and I would love to catch that on video. Rhiannon Aitken, I hope I'm saying that right. $5 towards the Beta Bubbles Beta Rescue.
Aww.
Love what you're doing.
Thank you. I do have some betas that I can. What am I trying to say? Rescues. The ones
candidates.
The ones that I'm not able to sell. I do have some. I'm just not advertising them. I reach out to people that I know that are good fish keepers usually and ask them if they're interested, and I'll send a picture or whatever. And usually by then I've named them because they've been around for a while. And but yeah, I do have some. Yeah,
we will be making a page for that on the website soon. We're also going to be doing something else that I'm not going to talk about yet until it's actually done, but something cool that we're going to add to the site, a little tweak that we're going to add to it soon, and I'm excited about that. David Martin, be looking, by the way.
Did you do the super chats?
That's what I'm working on right now.
Oh, okay, because I don't want to forget people.
David Martin, I have 3 125-gallon tanks, one of which has 12 Severums in it, 3 angels, and a Bishar biker. I call them bikers because it's fun.
Yeah.
How long would you say I have before I'll need to separate some of them? 12 Severums sure would look pretty in a 125. So 12 Sevrums is a lot for a 125. I would like to see one of those tanks just exclusively the Sevrums, with maybe some little dithers. Not necessarily dithers, because Sevrums don't bother nobody, but something smaller, maybe some Danios or something to zip back and forth in that tank with them. Or just the 12 Sevrums. Why not? They'd be fine. And then have the 3 Angels and the biker in another tank. I don't know how long, because I don't know how big they are. But if they're getting to be 4 or 5 inches in size, you might want to start thinking about that soon. And just get that 12 Sevrum tank in a 125. Still might be a little crowded in there, and if they all reach full growth, then you might need to separate them, break that group down into 6 and 6 or something like that. But I sure would like to see that tank, 12 Sevrums. That'd be cool.
Oh yeah. Danica Peterson asked, Lisa, how many female betas can I put in a 10-gallon? And I would say 1. Only because if I were to recommend a sorority, I like to say a 20-gallon minimum for a sorority. So for a 10-gallon, I would just say 1. But you could put tank mates in there. A mono shrimp. My betas love a mono shrimp. Snails and maybe a little school of something, like 6 or 7 Harlequin rasbors or something like that. But I wouldn't put more than 1 beta in a 10-gallon.
Chad Krotz, lack of topics screams amateur to me. I agree. I mean, just because you get paid to do something doesn't necessarily mean you are a professional. Where do y'all see keepfishkeeping.com 5 years from now? What's the overall goal y'all want to accomplish with that kind of platform? Oh, I could spend the entire stream talking about this, and that's a $25 super chat. Thank you so much, Chad. First of all, you're right. I am an amateur. There's no doubt about that. Where do I see it in 5 years? I'm going to speak for myself, and you can say whatever you want to say, but I have a very particular goal. I'm not going to give any kind of dollar amount that I want to see 5 years from now, because that's just crazy. But I feel like we've drifted a little bit away from what we wanted the website to be from the very beginning, which is catering exclusively to newer fish keepers. I'm not saying we're doing the opposite of that, but there's not as much content on the website that is geared towards the beginner than what I would like. And so what I'm hoping is over the course of the next 5 years, we hone in on that and really make it a valuable resource for new fish keepers, because I said it a million times and I'll say it again. I believe 85% of people with aquariums are on their way out of the hobby. I believe that, and I have made it my personal mission to keep those people in the hobby, because that's how our hobby grows. Mm-hmm. I watched a video today, some guy, I don't remember his name, it was a good video, like what are the states that are losing the most population? What are the cities in the United States that are losing the most population? And it kind of reminds me of that. I believe that this hobby, in a lot of cases, maybe not over the last year because the pandemic has brought a lot of people to the hobby, but I think that in normal scenarios where people aren't locked in their houses, the hobby loses more people than it gains every year. And I would like to change that by making keeping glass boxes full of water make more sense. So I know that sounds like I'm, like trying to sound like some kind of, I don't know what I'm trying to sound like. I'm not trying to sound like anything. That's my genuine thoughts of what I would like to do. And I would definitely like to see us in a different location than it is right now. Yeah. We're already kind of bursting at the seams. We've got new stuff coming in that is going to definitely, we're going to have a hard time figuring out where to put all the new stuff. So I would like to see us in a more permanent location. I don't think a permanent location exists because everybody's like, well, we're going to in a couple of years be moving to something bigger. I don't think that ever changes. The only way that we would ever be in a permanent location is if we got a 40,000 square foot building somewhere. That ain't going to happen. I can promise you that. But the dream is to have a building on our property that we could expand, which unfortunately we would not be able to do here. So what does that tell you? What we might have to do, but because we don't have a very large property here. So what you and I have talked about it a lot. The dream is to get 5-10 acres somewhere and be able to build a, let's just say 2,400 square foot building on that property. Or even a bigger bonus would be we buy a house that already has one. Mm-hmm. And then when we need to expand, we just literally expand instead of, okay, well, now we have to move, now we need to go rent another space that's 5,000 square feet. And then we got to 2 years later move to a space. I'd rather not be doing all of that. I'd rather just be in one spot. And so the closest thing that I think we could ever have to having a permanent spot is to have that much land and be able to literally expand the building. So
and have a lot of cats.
And we already do.
No.
I'm going to tell you this.
Like have a building just for rescue cats.
And this totally has to do with aquariums here, folks. Lisa Marie and I we were dead set today on getting a new pet that we never had before.
Oh yeah, it would have been so much fun. And
it was going to happen until we found out that they were illegal to have in the United States, which we both kind of expected. But I'm going to tell you something. Otters.
They're so cute.
Are some of the cutest animals I've ever seen in my life. No, I didn't just see otters for the first time today. Of course, I've seen them all the time. But there is a YouTube channel. I don't know what it's called, but I've watched like 12 videos. I think they are Asian. In fact, I know they are because you can see the text on there. And it's this family that has 2 otters and the videos are all their otters and they are the cutest animals I've ever seen in my life. So what?
It looks like there's a fake KG Tropicals in the stream.
Huh?
Anyway, somebody pretending to be KG Tropicals, but it's KG Tropical. Asking for a bunch of money in super chats and stuff. Thank you. We appreciate your effort. But anyways, Candy deleted it, thankfully. We don't beg for money. We are not those people. So we appreciate when people do super chats, but we will never, ever beg people for money. I promise.
No, that's funny. Good job. That's a good troll.
It had the avatar and everything.
Yeah, that's a good troll there.
That's an awesome troll. I mean, it looked like us. Or you, because I'm different than you as my avatar and all.
I remember when I had my first beer. Anyway. You got one?
Huh? What?
You got a question?
Oh.
That's not from a fake KG Tropicals?
No, I wasn't even looking. I was
okay, well then we'll talk about Jeff H. pooping on us.
Oh, nice.
And then John Branson with the $10 just got back into fish keeping a few months ago, been years. I have a healthy little 6-gallon with a betta and neons. I love your videos and appreciate your wisdom very much. Thank you. Awesome. That is awesome. Thank you for that.
Yeah, thank you very much.
If we were able to contribute to that in some kind of a way, then I am definitely.
Christine Richardson said, "Otters are my spirit animal. My husband says I swim in our pool like an otter." I'm not sure if that is insult or if he's complimenting you.
But they are so adorable. I mean,
so cute.
One of the videos was literally I've been using the word literally way too much today, but it was the cutest thing I've ever seen in my entire life. It was these 2 otters eating salmon. And I don't mean like physically eating the fish. I mean, not the actual fish, but like cut up pieces of salmon meat.
They're human. Cut it up,
right.
Put it on a plate for them. And
little salmon fillets, and they pick them up and they put them in their mouth, and it's just the funniest thing I've ever seen. And I sure do wish maybe we should move. I mean, the United States, we're not allowed to have Asian arowanas. We're not allowed to have anything good.
Yeah.
We should just move out of the country. It'll make things with our website a little bit more difficult, but we could have really cool pets if we did that.
Yeah.
Miss Metalhead Prime. Sorry, I'm sitting here saying MRS. We got 2 male betas from you guys, different tanks, obviously, and we absolutely love them. They're happy and healthy.
Yay. That's awesome.
Love hearing that.
I love that.
Delana Silva with her normal #1 fan every week. She does that, and
So sweet.
It's amazing. Thank you so much, Delana.
Thank you.
Abby Lee, love that you sign the receipts when I order from you. All the questions are just talking about how good we are. It's good, but thanks for helping to keep my beta healthy. Love ordering from you because I know I can trust the products. Awesome. That's the whole goal. That's what we try to do. And if it's working, that makes me very happy. And yeah, the receipts, that's just, I love doing that. And we're not at the point where I have to get away from that yet, but you know, if things continue to get crazy, then we might. But sometimes the notes are shorter because like Mondays are crazy for us, so they're shorter, but I try to do that on every single one. I don't think I've missed one yet. You got one?
I know I do. I saw one and it went up and yeah. Oh, okay. David Martin says, hope you guys don't mind, but I share a lot of your YouTube videos on Facebook and some of the groups I venture into, and we don't mind at all. Share away.
No, you'll never have a complaint out of us for sharing videos. Corey actually messaged me yesterday, and he said, I can't read it from here, but someone had made a blog post that was my thumbnail from one of my videos. It was the video with all of the aquarium chemicals and me going like this, looking at them.
Yeah.
And it was a video about, or a blog post about shrimp. Like, why would you use that thumbnail? Why would you steal that thumbnail from me to make a blog post about shrimp? But yeah, that kind of stuff happens a lot. There's a thing on YouTube Studio. You can go and you can see if people have actually like pirated your content and uploaded it on their own. And it happens all the time. And I usually don't care. I've seen many videos where people have taken a clip from one of our videos, somebody that I've never met, don't know, never seen their channel before. They take a clip from our video, they put it in their video, and they say, this is KG Tropicals. They were talking about this. They credit us. And I don't care about that. Yeah. That's awesome, actually. I don't have a problem with that at all. But when people download our videos and then they re-upload them as their own, that kind of bothers me a little bit. It's like, that's dirty. That's real dirty. Yeah. But it happens.
It does.
And unfortunately, there's nothing we can do to stop it. We just take them down after they go up. But
Ultimate Shin Kicker, like that name. What is a hardy schoolfish that I could put in with a beta? I had just said Harlequin rasboras. That's what I have with my sorority, and they can handle their own. I've never lost one, because of aggression with the betas or anything. So that's one that I would suggest.
That is always going to be our answer.
There's more, but I personally have experience with the Harlequin rasboras and also Corey's. I mean, not in my sorority anymore. I will never do that again. But
that wasn't the Corey's fault. That was.
I still blame the Corey's for that. But I do have a 10-gallon with like 6 Corey cats and 1 beta in it, and they do great.
Absolutely. Okay, the Great Poke Quest. Interesting name. Hi guys, love your channel. Will you guys do a video on red devils and flower horns? I keep them and love them. Most videos just focus on their aggression. I don't think you will see one of those anytime soon, because if I'm going to do a video specifically about a fish, I'd like it to be one that we have. I've had both of those fish, and I like both of those fish, but I don't currently have any. So it would be one of those things. I know some of our 10 things videos, we've talked about fish that we don't have as a segment of a video. I get that. But if I'm doing like a full care guide for a fish, I'm not going to do one for a fish that we don't have. So that doesn't mean it'll never happen, but it won't happen until I have one. And I don't know if we're ever going to have those fish, but you never say never, but not right now. Paul De Leon, I hope I'm saying your name right, became a member. Welcome to the team, my friend. Furloughs Aquatics. Happy Thursday, y'all, and welcome back, Lisa.
Thank you.
You just interrupt me whenever you have one.
Oh, sorry.
You don't have one. Okay. Oh. J.D. Williams sent in a $5 super chat and had nothing to say. Just, here's money. Here's a little bit of money. That's like balling it up in your hand, and when we're walking by, literally just I said literally again, throwing that $5 at us. It's an amazing thing. I'm not going to say literally anymore. That word is abused right now, and I'm guilty of abusing that word right now, and I'm just not going to do that anymore. John, what is the best way to feed a Bolivian ram that is in a tank with faster fish? I just want to make sure he's getting enough food. Love the show. This is a tricky thing. We have experienced that a little bit in our tank downstairs that has the Danios and Angels in it. Angels are generally slower than Danios, much slower than Danios. Angels aren't a slow fish, but they're slow compared to Danios.
Yeah.
And we feed a sinking food in there is how we do it. If you're feeding exclusively floating foods, pellets, because obviously flakes shrink and everything else. If you're feeding a sinking food, then some of it should get down there to them. You do have to be careful not to just dump half a can in there, because you got to make sure that those fish get some. But Bolivian rams are pretty fast fish too.
I don't know. I have to disagree about the flakes. If you just so gently put them in there, they will float.
And eventually sink.
Yeah, but they'll float for a few minutes. Some, they don't just sink, just like a sinking pellet right away.
Well, and in those situations, like I've been feeding a new food to the yellow labs, and they absolutely love it. Still can't talk about that new food yet, but
that's the good food.
It is a semi-floating, which means it floats for a little bit and then it sinks. But what I do is I take that food and I kind of throw it into the tank.
See, that's why I said so gently put it in there.
I don't just, I don't lay it in there. And you can see it in my video 2 weeks ago when I went down to Schools of Fish. I take the food and I go, and take a little bit, and throw it in the tank. That way it kind of instantly sinks down. And I do that because there gets to be this huge swarm of yellow labs, and some of it gets down to the smaller fish down at the bottom. So maybe switch to something that either sinks, not like immediately, but goes down the tank fast enough to where the Bolivians can get it, or try the trick of tossing them in there kind of quick.
Right. The Mad Medic asks, what's your favorite type of beta?
You don't ask. You got to answer that first. You're the beta person.
Females.
Oh, she's not even going to get specific. She's just going to say females.
Because they're all of them. I like them all. So what's your favorite? I know what it is. It's the Nemos.
I love Nemos so much. And my favorites are Nemos
and Hellboys.
Hellboys and Black Samurais and Blue Rims.
Wow. I don't think he asked what's your four
favorite. I mean, I absolutely love the Nemos so much. I do. And if you put a gun to my head and made me pick, that's what I would pick, is Nemos. Leo Paradit. I'm probably not doing that name justice. Your videos have always been helpful to me. Thank you. Thank you so much for that, my friend. Thank you, Leo. I know I'm getting that part right. Big Snack Pack.
That's funny.
Salute, cause learned from y'all much love. And then came back again to make sure he said, learned a lot from you all.
Awesome.
Thank you so much
you.
for that big snack pack. Love some snack packs. Look at me. Of course I love snack packs.
Michelle Kinsey said, John, you literally sound like my kids. Literally.
That's the word now. Everybody uses it. And I find myself doing that, and it drives me crazy. I don't know what. It's not a problem usually. Tonight, it's been a problem, and I don't know why.
Oh, I had one and it skipped.
Mine did that too. YouTube, you're one of the biggest companies in the world. Why can't you fix this problem? They skip all over, and I don't understand why that happens. And
Willow Raven Wright. Can I say that the right way? Willow Raven Wright. We started feeding Extreme, and the fish love it. Of course, that's
Nice.
a great food. And oh my gosh, the beta pellets, the 1 millimeter, are amazing.
Yes.
They're absolutely amazing. Even when we still have the 1.5 is it mm? What am I saying? The bigger pellets for the betas. I still use those for like the larger betas, but the 1 millimeter I use for all of them, and it's actually made it to where I don't have to use another pellet as often, because I was using the Hikari, was it the Hikari Beta Bites for the smaller betas?
Bio Beta Gold.
Yeah, because some of them, that the smaller betas weren't able to eat the bigger pellet, so I had to have a substitute pellet for them. And now I can just 100% feed. That can be my staple pellet now, the 1 millimeter Beta Extreme pellets. They're awesome.
Yep.
I'm not saying that the Hikari's not good. It's still good. I may even just mix them, but I don't have to have two separate pellets now like I did before. So they gobble it right up and they love it. And of course, like I said, that is their staple food. It's not the only one, because I do believe 100% in a varied diet for the betas. But as far as the pellet goes, that's my number one pellet now, for sure.
Yeah, and I want to say something about that, because there's been 2 customers that have ordered the beta pellets. Why can't I just say beta? I don't understand it. But it's weird if I'm saying beta and you're saying beta. But anyway, there's been 2 customers that have ordered them, and then they receive them, and they're like, these are the 1.5 millimeter. I think what's happened to a couple of people, and I want to make sure if you're going to order this, I want to make sure you know to look out for it. When you go to our site to order the beta pellets, the Extreme Beta Pellets, there is a drop-down menu, just like you would choose the size of your shirt. And maybe I'll change this. I'll just make them 2 separate products. But and you choose 1.5 or 1 millimeter. Make sure you do that if you want the 1 millimeters. To my knowledge, Extreme is not going to get rid of the 1.5 millimeter. We're going to have both of those forever.
It's a great product.
Yeah. It's the same product. It's just a little bit bigger.
Yeah.
But so
that's
they're
gonna
always
be
going to be there.
Larger betas.
Right. But I mean, we sold out of it so fast. They sent us a case to sample and everything. And then we ordered a whole bunch of it. And I was like, well, let's just go ahead and sell the ones that we have in this case. Not because we're desperate, but because we got more coming so we can replenish ours and all of this. And we sold out in no time at all. But they are back up now and good to go. We got a nice, big, giant, fresh batch of them. So if you were looking for those 1 millimeter pellets, and we were only out for about a day, so not a big deal. But you got one?
Bev Johnson says our discus won't eat the Extreme, and I'm wondering, is it the pellets or is it the flakes? Because like my discus don't like pellets. They do not love pellets at all. But they'll tear up the krill flakes. They love the krill flakes. And not only the krill flakes, but I feed them the homemade food that Discus Han sells on his website. He makes it, from scratch, and It's amazing. It's a little pricey, but trust me, your discus will eat it up. But that, between Hans's food and extreme krill flakes, the only other thing I feed is like the bloodworms, and they thrive. So maybe if you're using pellets, stop. Use the extreme krill flakes. Try that.
And now that you mentioned Hans, I did chat with Hans the other day. He is home. He's doing much better, and trying to figure out what to do next is what he said. So very glad about that. If you're not aware, Discus Hans had a heart attack a couple of weeks ago, and it was a scary time, but he's good to go now. And I don't know if he's back to work yet. Haven't talked to him in a couple of days, but I did check on him.
Hard worker.
I did check on him, and he's doing much better. So big wake up call. So
Yeah.
Athi and Shauna, I still want to know if that's Othi or Athi, but it doesn't matter. Thank you so much. My husband has decided that he wants to get Oscars. Which ones do you recommend for our first ones?
The nice ones.
The 4 most common Oscars that you're going to see, you can see them everywhere from PetSmart to local stores to this tank behind me. The tiger and the albino tiger, the red and the albino red. Any of those 4, they're great. And now if you need to know the difference, albino tiger, red, and tiger. He's hiding back there. The tigers would be the ones that are black and red, splotchy red, like you see how he's, whoa, wrong side. You see how he's splotchy, that's the tigers. When you think tigers, you think stripes, but not on these fish. They're splotchy. And then obviously the albino variant of those is going to be white instead of black. So those 4 are the most common, most readily available. You do have the blacks, you have the lemons, which are amazing, difficult to find. I've had every kind of Oscar you could ever imagine. I've never found one to be easier than the other. They're all kind of hit or miss. Most of them are going to be gentle like these guys. These guys might have had a hard time welcoming in the new red, but they never hurt him. They just kind of opened up their mouth really big and said, "Hey, who are you?" But after a couple of days, it was nothing. So they're all good to go. And Melissa Jeswald says, Crush says hi.
Aw, I love Crush updates. Crush is a beta rescue. I had him for quite a while. And it was obvious when I got him that he was not going to be a fish I could stick on the website and sell, but he was beautiful. He was just so pretty. But he had, one of his eyes was messed up. I'm not sure why, but it was. And he was just the cutest fish. And I reached out to her and I was like, Melissa, would you like this beta? Because you seem like the kind of person that would take really good care of him and give him a special home. And she said yes. And we had to wait for the weather to break, and finally we got Crush to her. So yep.
Big Hangnail says, my boyfriend made an expensive order from your website last week for supplies for our new 75-gallon cichlid tank, and we are setting it up tonight.
Oh, fun.
How perfect is that? You're setting it up while watching this.
That's awesome.
You can't beat that. And the avatar, your avatar, looks really funny. And you gotta, I'm not making fun of you when I say it looks really funny. It's really, really small.
Right. They're all little.
And it, from my vantage point here, looking at your avatar, Big Hangnail, it reminds me of Bill the Butcher. If you don't know who that is, look it up. Now, you just said my boyfriend. You know, it reminds me of Bill the Butcher. If you are a female, that's probably an insult, and I'm sorry. But you got what looks like a handlebar mustache in the avatar, and that's kind of a signature Bill the Butcher thing. If you don't know who Bill the Butcher is, Daniel Day-Lewis's character from Gangs of New York, one of the best characters ever.
That was
Love
a good
it.
movie.
Love
Even though
that movie.
Guy was in it I don't like. Leonardo something.
This woman speaks blaspheme here
don't
on this
like
live
him.
stream. She doesn't like Leonardo DiCaprio.
I don't like him, and I don't like Tom. What's his butt?
Tom Cruise.
Yeah, I don't like Tom Cruise.
Tom Cruise makes great movies. I don't care what you say.
Oh.
Yeah, he's a weirdo, but it's one of those things that has made me just really question you and your sanity that you don't like Leonardo DiCaprio. I just don't get it. He's the best actor because Daniel Day-Lewis has retired. He's the best actor on planet Earth right now. I don't care what anybody says.
I don't know. I don't think I ever got. I never got over Patrick Swayze passing. He was my favorite actor.
What does that have to do with Leonardo DiCaprio?
I just don't like him. Anyway.
I don't like Leonardo DiCaprio because I've just been so sad that Patrick Swayze died. What?
Stop. Don't make fun of me.
Whips World says, I could lie and say I've missed the last few lives for obvious reasons, but really, this start time change is kicking my old and forgetful rear end. Oh, man. Well, it's not a new start time there, Zach Wild. It's been this start time for several months now. So, get your act together.
Guess you're going to have to set that alarm clock.
Yeah.
Alarm.
I would not blame anyone that did not join me the last 2 weeks with it just being me. Who wants to see that? I get it.
Oh, stop.
Ethan W. didn't just poop on us. He double pooped on us. 2 poops in a row. Thank you for the double poop, Ethan. Dia Ryan, John just got my extreme 1mm pellets today. My bettas cannot get enough of it. Thanks for carrying this product. Absolutely. That's what we want to hear. It's perfect. Extreme did a perfect thing with those pellets.
Yes.
There's no doubt about it. Fish Tank Barn sent in a KG Tropicals Fish Barn fund.
Aw, that's so cool.
Yeah.
Mike spoils us.
Mike, I'm going to need you to do a little better than that because we're talking. I'm just kidding. I'm joking.
Rude.
I'm joking. That's going to be a major, major expense, which is why I say hopefully we can buy a house someday that already has one built because usually they're kind of like pools unless you live in Beverly Hills. If you have a pool, it doesn't really make your property value go up. If you have a 5,000 square foot building in your backyard, you're not really going to get that money back out of the house when you sell it. So our hope is that we'll buy a house that has one that already has the building and we don't have to pay for the building. That'd be like having a free business space.
Life with Pets, Sheila, asked, which Aquashellas do you hope to be at this year?
All 3 of them.
Really?
Well, she said, which ones do we hope to be at? Well, I hope to be at all 3.
I wasn't sure if we were making the Orlando one. I didn't know if we were 100%.
As far as I'm concerned, if it happens, we'll be there. I mean, I know I'll be there. I know you were on the fence, but I'll be there for sure if it happens.
Oh.
Won't you be?
I don't know. I have to think about that. I'll get back to you.
Yeah, well.
Maybe I'll let everyone on the stream know before I decide to tell you. Or that's how I'll tell you, is on the stream.
I mean, it's only 2 months away.
It's less than 2 months away.
Yeah. I would love to be at all 3. I have not heard any good or bad news about it. As far as I know.
Well, I know Sheila is going to be a vendor there, so she's already bought her booth and everything.
As far as I know, like, Florida is, like, open now. Aren't they?
Yeah.
So, I mean, I would imagine of the 3, well, Texas is open too. So I would imagine Dallas and Florida are almost like a done deal. Chicago, I don't know. But you asked, which ones do I hope to be at? I hope to be at all 3. And that would be a lot of fun. Need to get out of this house. I mean, bottom line. Heath Weitzel, have you guys ever done a reef tank? If so, would you ever have another one? I have a 40 breeder I just started up about 1 year ago. I have had one unsuccessfully, but I did enjoy it. And I could see myself certainly doing it again. However, I would do that when I am able to focus more attention onto it, because they do require a lot of attention. They're very expensive to get an elaborate reef tank. And so like right now, I'm going to be honest. I was scraping algae off of the tank behind Marie right before the stream started. Things get backed up. Fish are healthy. Fish are well taken care of, but the tanks don't look as good as I'd like them to because we're just spread so thin right now. But I would want to be able to have more attention to be put onto that reef tank if I ever did another one. And if I do another one, I'm going big. I'm going like 150 or bigger. Have to be. So, yeah, we'll see. Willow Ravenwright for the cat rescue and beta rescue.
Yay, thank you.
Yeah, that's one of the prerequisites that whatever house we buy has to have a bunch of...
Well, that one house that we went and looked at was such a dream. It had 18 cats that came with that house. And I was like, I really want this house, John.
Yeah.
Yeah, but anyway. And they liked me too, I could tell.
Yeah. Gramps Cichlid Cave, Blake Exotic Animal Ranch on YouTube, lives in Florida and has an otter. What?
Wow.
I must know how this is possible. I mean, I might have picked one up in the wild in Florida.
I mean, what they don't know. I mean, do people just go knock, the otter police go knock on the door? Does anybody have an otter in their house? I mean, if you don't advertise it and let it do its otter things outside of the house for people to see, then how will they even know?
Can you imagine being that guy in prison? What'd you do? Murder. What'd you do? I broke into a house and assaulted 4 people. What'd you do? I had an otter as a pet. I don't want to be that guy. Or I had an Asian arowana, Hopefully that never happens to anyone. I've never heard of anyone ever getting arrested for having an otter or a
Asian
arowana.
Yeah.
But I don't know anything about keeping otters. All I know is they're super cute and I want one. And if we're allowed to have them, I'm getting one day. Rashida Miller, take your shirts off. No, you don't want that.
No, thank you. I'm not doing
Rashida, that might be the weirdest super chat that's ever come through this channel. Nobody wants to see this, trust me. Fish Nerd Carlos, there he is. Happy Thursday, my friends. Thank you. Thank you, Carlos. Good to have you here.
Yeah.
And Rashida Miller must have said something even crazier because the message got deleted.
Oh.
Behave yourself, Rashida. I'd like to know what that was, but I can't see it.
Delana Silva said, hope to see you all in Dallas. I'll be having my second baby just 2 weeks before, so we'll see how I'm feeling.
Wow.
Aww.
Yeah, you're going to be a little busy.
Yeah, a lot busy.
Dallas, I've been to Orlando 100 times in my life. I love Florida. I love the state of Florida. I'd like to move to the state of Florida. I've been to Chicago 3 times now. Two times? 2 times.
2 times without me.
Right. I've never been to the state of Texas.
I have. I've been to Texas.
You've been to the airport.
It was Texas. Twice.
I mean, I've driven through the state of Indiana. That doesn't mean I've been to Indiana. Well, I guess it doesn't mean.
It does.
I've never.
If you were there, you were there.
You haven't visited. You were on a layover. But anyway, I've never been to the state of Texas, mainly because I hate the Cowboys. But I don't really care about football anymore as much, so it's not really a big deal to me anymore. But regardless of that, I would love to be at Dallas. And if it happens, I'm pretty confident that we'll be there. I don't even know when it is. When's it? August for Dallas? And then November? I don't know, but we'll be there. If it happens, at least I hope. Rebecca Riles, I love female koi bettas. So do I. If I had to pick a favorite female, that's what it would be. It would be the kois. Mm. I mean, the Nemos are cute too. Yeah. I guess I'm just going to go biased. Total biased with Nemos. Hellbent 69, you can, my dirty mind. You can own U.S. bred Asian arowanas, VO arowana in Maryland. Huh. How about that? Anyway, I never heard that. I mean, again, I've never heard of anyone getting in trouble for having a fish, ever. So maybe you're right. And if you are right, I sure would love to have one. But see, those people that are breeding them are probably charging absolutely absurd amounts of money for them. How can I clean my FX? This is from Love My Wet Pets, by the way, Michael McShane. How can I clean my FX6 in and out hoses without flooding?
Oh.
How can I clean the in and out hoses without flooding? Whoo.
Have John come over and do it.
Yeah. Yeah, because Lisa floods the basement every time.
I do.
I have cleaned those out before, and you know what? It might not be the most technically advanced way of doing it, but what I've done is taking them off the tank, taking them outside, disconnecting everything, which you have to, with the FX6, you actually have to use a screwdriver and take the pipe clamps off. And I've just taken a hose and full blast with the thing, just squirt it through there. I've done that a bunch of times. They also make the long brushes. In fact, where is it? I remember seeing this the other day. Wow, I just hit my face with it. They make these guys that are on these long. We bought this off of the worst website in the world, Amazon. And these are great for that. I mean, somebody asked earlier, I saw in the chat, was asking about cleaning a python. This ain't going to do anything for you for the python, except for maybe the first 3 feet of the python. But for FX6s and stuff like that, these are great. They cost next to nothing. They're flexible. And so, yeah, that's how you do it there, too. And you take it outside. That's how you avoid flooding the house.
What a pain.
Christine is very happy to see you back.
Yay.
As aren't we all happy to see her back?
Thank you.
You didn't trick me, Christine. I just didn't even attempt your last name because I'm a bad person. Jeff H. John ordered Sunday, got it Tuesday. You are on it. Thanks. And my wife's bubble shirt was in it, so I can get my KG. Wait a minute. So I can get my KG shirt back.
Haha, that's awesome.
Thanks from Martinsburg. Yeah, that is awesome.
Oh, that's awesome.
You should have just gone ahead and bought her a KG Tropical shirt too. I mean, it's blue. Blue goes with everything, so, you know. And she already liked it, so. But yeah, let her have the Bubbles one. And I think we might have, I almost said literally, like 2 Bubble shirts left.
Oh, wow.
Anyway, ever kept bikers, I call them bikers, you call them whatever you want. Any tips on breeding or know anyone I can look into for it? I have never bred them, never attempted to breed them, but yes, I have had them. I love them. Entertaining.
Wait, what fish?
Bikers, Bichars, Bichars.
Does Haley breed those? Oddball Aquatics?
Is that what she was breeding, or was
I don't remember.
She was breeding something like that. Oddball Aquatics.
For some reason, I thought she.
Was it that, or was it ropefish that she was
Oh, maybe it was ropefish. Okay, I got confused.
Kendra Crippen sent a $3 super chat and said, literally. That's the 842nd time the word literally has been used in this chat. Owen Hudson, love that last name. You each have seemed to lean towards certain fish/ecosystems. What landed you in those camps, and has it been consistent? I'll start off. Definitely not consistent for me. I've gone all over the place. Monster fish are what got me interested in fish keeping. And then I kind of went into community fish, and then I went to African cichlids. This was all before I met Lisa Marie. And then I took a little bit of a break and met her, got back into it, again started right up with monster fish, but then went right into African cichlids. For you, it's kind of always been discus since day one.
Yeah.
And betas have always been a thing.
Mm-hmm.
So, but you've also had your little...
I had an arowana.
You had an arowana. You had your Mbuna phase, which you still technically have.
I love Mbunas.
So, I think that one of the most important things that we can do as fish keepers is experiment and try new things. It doesn't necessarily mean that you need to go out and spend a fortune and set up a whole huge tank and all this kind of stuff. a lot of times you can try something new in a smaller tank. What was that?
What?
The yellow labs just went after something, and I wanted to make sure it wasn't a baby. It wouldn't have been on camera. That would have been gruesome, but not gruesome. But anyway, I think it's fun to try new things. I think that is something that keeps this hobby fresh. So if you're kind of on the fence, Owen, and you want to, you're thinking about trying new things, I encourage you to do that. It's fun. And it kind of re-energizes the hobby for you and stuff like that. But what is it that gets us going to those places? It just kind of happens. It's like you fall in love with something and you start to obsess with it, and
Right.
and that just is what it is. We got to wrap this thing up here soon. Sands became a new member. Welcome to the team. Catch and release. Kenny, here's a poop for Lisa's return and a poop for John's Nationals. How dare you? Go Yankees. Love y'all. Hope your night's going well. Got to be the best night of the week. This night is a lot of fun. Much more fun when we actually have a plan. But tonight was fun anyway, even though we didn't have a plan. Christine Richardson, storm coming tomorrow. I didn't think about it. If I lose power, my fish. Yeah, that's one of those things that we fish keepers always fear, is the power outages. Hopefully it's not too much of a storm, and hopefully your power's only out for a short time. Listen.
As long as it's not cold, you can move the water around. But if it's cold, it's hard to try to heat a tank with no power and move the water around, you know?
Right. So. I would start panicking if power was going to be out for 4 or 5 days. I would start to get a little concerned. Yeah. But most of these fish, folks, they can go for quite some time without having a filter running in their tank. See, something keeps flying around. I don't know what. Something's popping out of the filter is what it is. The water must be low. Oh. I've been a little busy taking care of somebody for the last 2 weeks. Leave me alone.
You were giving me crap.
If you are over the top concerned about it, get you some battery operated air pumps. That way you can get that water moving and you won't have to worry about it. But then the big concern does become, Christine, if you live in Maine, which it's not warm there yet, and power goes out for 4 or 5 days, then you might be
She said she
struggling.
lives in Texas.
Oh, well, I guess it gets cold in Texas too, but depending on where you are. But anyway.
She said by Houston.
Okay, so you're fine. You ain't got nothing to worry about. The fish can make it for quite some time without water movement. You make it move as much as you can.
Yeah, just stick your fingers in there and do this and swish it around, for a minute, and it'll be okay.
Big Hangnail wanted to clarify, I'm a girl, and it's a candy mustache. Haha. Now, hopefully you understand Big Hangnail, which is a great name, by the way.
That is.
I hope you understand, in today's world, you understand what I'm trying to say? You just don't know. So when you say my boyfriend, that doesn't automatically mean you're a girl. It never has always meant that. So hopefully you understand why I was struggling with that. It is not clear to me because the thumbnail, the avatar is the size of a pea, and it's 4 feet away from me. Anyway. Star Sand Bone. What's the safest way to move a 7-inch goldfish across the country? Ooh, that one is a tough one, because you're going to need a good size amount, or a good amount of water. Are you driving? I mean,
I'd feel safer moving a goldfish or a betta than discus or, an arowana or something like that. I would say a goldfish is one of the ones I would probably feel less stressed about.
Yeah, but that's a long way. I mean, you're talking about if you're moving across the country, it's a good time of year to be doing that.
Yeah.
So that's good.
Except today. Today's a bad day. It's cold.
Or yesterday when I was at the Nats game. Yeah. But have as much water as you can, and maybe get yourself a battery operated air pump, or get a USB air pump that you can have running in your car. Almost all cars now have USB connectors in them, and run that thing and then you shouldn't have any problems. If you are overly concerned, and you should be, you're moving across country, but as if you aren't going to be stressed out enough, another thing that you could think about is go to Home Depot, Lowe's, Walmart, get you a couple of 5-gallon buckets with lids, fill those up with fresh water, the same water that your fish is used to. Doesn't have to be from the fish's tank, but the same source, and fill those up, close the lids, and do water changes every, 24 hours or so. Keep that water moving and you should be good. Unfortunately, that is a really difficult thing, and we've entertained the idea of moving to another state and all this because we're very fortunate in that we can take our business anywhere in the United States and be fine. Obviously, for shipping purposes, moving into the center of the country would probably make the most economic sense, but we've fantasized a little bit about, I looked at a house online. We didn't go there. I looked at a house that was like a dream. It was in our price range, and it was a dream, and it was in Arkansas, which is like,
I'm not moving to Arkansas.
I know, neither am I, but it probably 12 hours away from here. So I start immediately thinking, what am I going to do with all these fish? It's a struggle, but I don't know. It's a scary thing. I'll be stressing if we're moving an hour away. So I get it, but that's the best advice I could give you. We got to wrap this up. I already said that earlier. Whips World said months. I'm really getting old and forgetful then. It's been months since we switched to 8 o'clock.
It hasn't been too long though.
It was this year, but it's still been months.
It's only in the 4th month of the year. Jeez, you act like it's November. It's this year.
Athi and Shauna again. O instead of aw. Okay. Othi, thank you for clarifying that. I feel so much better about that. Othi, you know how I'm going to remember that? Because I've seen your name in here before. One of my favorite players on the Washington Capitol, they just won the Caps. His name is TJ Oshie. So I'm going to use that to remember Othi, Oshie, and Shauna.
I can't wait to go to a Capitals game again.
I know. Almost everyone gets that wrong. Yeah, sorry about that. My kids wanted me to tell y'all they named our goldfish Swim Shady and Peep.
Oh, that's so cute.
Swim Shady is adorable.
I have a beta named Slim Shady.
Slim Shady. She went straight Marshall Mathers with that. Yeah. But Swim Shady, I think, is even more adorable. Chad Krotz, FYI, AMA. Oh. I assumed you meant amateur, Chad. Idiot right here. This guy. AMA, yeah. Ask me anything. I know what that means. Not amateur, but we all are amateurs at one point or another. Everyone have a great weekend. Yeah. I've done AMA. I've done the Ask Me Anything thing before, and it just kind of works the same way as a regular Q&A. Yeah. So we just kind of go with what happens. And finally, I don't mean to say that as if I've been looking forward to this, but the final message from the day was from Carlos again. Hopefully we can make it to Chicago.
Oh, that would be nice. And bring your little girl. She's so cute.
We have seen Carlos. I've seen Carlos in Chicago once. And we did, wasn't he at the Aquatic Experience too?
Yes.
Both of them, right?
I don't think I've ever met his wife. I think she was at
She was in Chicago.
Aquashella, but I wasn't.
Yep.
Maybe she was at the Aquatic Experience and I just didn't know, but I've seen her on Instagram.
She's not somebody that's like in your face to all the people like I am. She kind of sits back and people go to her, which is cool because, but she's not one of those people that's like running up to everybody and does all of that. She is a more sane person than most of us are. So anyway, yeah, that would be fun, Carlos. I hope to see you there. And I would definitely like to have a meal at that place that we went. I don't think you were with us. Carlos, were you with us? He's probably not here anymore. We went out to dinner the first night of Chicago. It was us. Well, you weren't there. It was me. You were there in spirit. Me, Corey.
I think I was sick.
The primetime guys, Jadrin, Tazawa, Jimmy, Mike Howell was there, I think. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, he drove you around.
Well, Jason actually drove me. Anyway, I'm pretty sure Carlos and his wife were at that place. I'd like to go there again, but one of the criminal things that I did last time I was in Chicago, that I will not make the same mistake again this time, I did not get any deep dish pizza. And I will not make that mistake again if I go this year. When I was there in 2015, Sean and I went out and had deep dish pizza, and it was amazing. It's like eating lasagna, but it's not lasagna, it's pizza. It was
I'd
beautiful.
like to try the veggie one. I bet that's delicious.
Completely different experience than your regular floppy New York style, but very, very good and very filling. I can annihilate some pizza, but I could not annihilate deep dish pizza. But it's a beautiful thing. Anyway, that's all for tonight, ladies and gentlemen. This has been a lot of fun. I was there. Regina was super tired in her first trimester of that trip. Yep. Okay.
That would make sense.
So we got to wrap this thing up finally. Thank you all so much for hanging out. And I'm going to stop talking so that I can hand it over to you. Since you're back now, I can hand it over to you to end things.
Okay. Well, of course, I want to thank the mods because you guys are the best, and we appreciate that you spend your time helping out in the live streams, because looks like we had a few trolls tonight, and most times we do. But anyways, thank you so much, so much. And I hope everybody has a wonderful weekend and the weather becomes super awesome for everybody wherever they are, and we'll see you next Thursday.